Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. Don't forget to leave a like. It is a free and easy way to help out the channel. Things are getting, I was going to use the word weird. Things aren't getting weird. They've always been weird for a very long time. One of my goals when being in the cryptocurrency space, this is like the 38th time I'm saying it this month because it's getting down to the wire. The wire's there, but it's been cut open. It's not as wiry as it was before. The entire idea is that if you haven't noticed, Bitcoin is quite scarce. And the problems that we have had before is that this is part of my philosophy is to try. So I'll give it to you this way. It's not every day that we come across something that can make normal people rich or has the capacity to make normal people money in some sort of fashion. It's really not every day. If you didn't watch the earlier videos on this channel, I used to be an eBay seller. I used to sell things on eBay, namely comic books that I found around the world, and that took up a good portion of my life. But it wasn't something that would have made me rich per se. The things that make people rich are usually like investment. So if I had to put all of the money that I made into like a big comic book over time, of course I would have made money from it, what have you. We do not currently at the time of this century have many vehicles to actually make wealth that are often affordable to the average everyday man. I.e., real estate. I don't say gold is going to make anyone rich. Gold is meant to like hold value and stabilize. And even if you had bought 15, 20 years ago, you would have had to have put in around 50, 60, 70,000 to even like be considered like well off from the actual gold. So a number of years ago, I mean, the whole bucket, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Cardano, you name it. If you had gotten in, it's not even early, it's like a couple of years ago, you would have found yourself in a position where for many of the coins, if you had put in $1,000, many of these coins, Bitcoin lightly excluded, many of these coins would have made you 6, 7 figures in a very, very short period of time. When I say that we're down to the wire, things are like closing, it's because I know that rich people have kind of figured it out and got the formula. We know a couple of years ago, a lot of them saw crypto, got into crypto, understood what the market was about, but even a lot of them have confessed over the years that of course they wish that they had bought more of something. It's like I think it's Novogratz. I don't remember. All these people kind of, it's just a bunch of rich people who all like bought coins like super early, like years and years ago. But they all have this idea of like, I wish I had bought more before, because of course they want to be even richer than they currently are right now. There are coins in this market, and I will not name them, that have gone down in price over the course of the last few years and the bear market, what have you, that if they happen to go back up to their previous all-time high for a good $1,000, $2,000, people can make a good high 6 figures with them. Once again, we'll not be naming them. You gotta, that's part of the do your own research kind of thing, especially with all the news that we've been getting about a lot of these assets. Where we are in history is going to be discussed for probably decades to come. The cryptocurrencies on the market that are going to do the best in the future are currently still available at low prices, and it's just a matter of time before all these things are scooped up as well. The news today only let me know that this is going to get, I'll use the word more severe. I think it actually fits completely correctly with the theme of the last few years as well. These assets are brand new. That's something to really keep in mind, and I know that that's something that a lot of people maybe want to forget or don't find as significant. We do not often have new asset classes. It's not really a thing. And I wouldn't even throw in the idea of like collectibles. I had a conversation with people before, and they were like, well, I get that Bitcoin's new, but like so are Pokemon cards and so are comic books. And it's like, no, but that's still under the umbrella of like collecting an item. Like people have been collecting dolls and baseball cards since like the 1910s. Like it's still kind of a collecting kind of class, if you will. Crypto, there's never been anything like it. It's something that is decentralized, not owned or ruled over by anyone. You can use it at any time. It's open 24 hours a day, and it has the possibility of making people who own it quite wealthy. When this popped up, I was like, well, of course that's going to happen. And then I was like, oh, crap, that's going to happen. And I was like, I wonder if other people know that this is going to happen, because it's going to affect the market in a, I want to say, positive way, but it's also draining the cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, from those who I believe should have access to it first. And that's you. That's, the people in the world. If we could get a solid 1 billion people who own Bitcoin in some sort of capacity, 1.5 billion, I think my anxiety would kind of dip really quick. But as it's, you'll see in the news, as it stands right now, we got to get those numbers up, because if Bitcoin is going to, I'm like shaking my hands, geez Louise, if Bitcoin is going to succeed, I would much rather normal people succeed as opposed to rich people succeeding even more than they already have. MicroStrategy is, of course, back in the news once again, made famous a couple of years ago by announcing that they knew what Bitcoin was and that they begun to buy Bitcoin, and then they had 15,000 Bitcoin. And now they have, currently at the time of me making this video, over 250,000 Bitcoin. That's one company alone. Much of what they've done to procure said Bitcoin was getting the company in debt. They issued debt against themselves in the form of something. Other companies bought it with the expectation or the assurance that in the future that loan would be paid back with some interest on top, and MicroStrategy took that money from a lot of these loans, or all of the loans, and used it to buy Bitcoin. Once again, they used to do like, we're raising 50 million, that rose to 200 million, then they got $500 million. And then once they raised $700 million, and the most recent one, I believe, was 1.1 billion. You've seen videos on it because I'm always flailing and moving around the exact same way, trying to get everyone to understand or realize why this company would be doing that. It's because they've made money off of buying the actual Bitcoin, and I dare say once again, early. It's usually as simple as like buying at a certain period and then waiting for years to go by. Ta-da, you've made a lot of money. MicroStrategy as a company has done really well for itself just because of the actual Bitcoin purchases. Therefore, the CEO of MicroStrategy has announced that they've done so well buying up 250,000 Bitcoin that could have gone, side note, that could have gone to 250,000 people and or decimal place, or on 22 million people each having 1 million Satoshis. And this is it. I would rather 22 million people have those Satoshis than one of the richest companies on the planet. As they've gotten richer, they've announced that they want to get even richer. They've announced a 3-year plan that they're calling 2121. I don't know why. You'll see it's a bit confusing, and I don't get why it's a 3-year plan, but they're calling it 2121. Basically, they want to raise 21 billion with a B, $21 billion in equity and $21 billion in fixed income securities. And this capital will be used to further grow their Bitcoin treasury. Aiming to increase their yield from Bitcoin. This is according to CEO Fong Li, or Fongle, Pongle. So, once again, here we are, my friends, on the same exact track, on the same exact street, where we keep seeing these companies buying up. So, I need you to get it. And if you got it, good. Have a great day. Amazing. Enjoy yourself. For those of you who are still also here, when there's nothing left on the tree to pick, when there's no more Bitcoin apples up there, I want to make sure that you are all well prepared. I don't ask much of you, and I will never tell you what to do with your finances. But I do hope that a plethora of you have sold things around your house that you no longer need or never needed in the first place, and that you're using that money to invest. I would love if you invested in the rarest asset that we currently have on the planet that keeps on getting devoured by billionaires. But if you decide to invest in anything else, that's your prerogative, and as long as you're investing, you're cool with me. The idea of an additional $42 billion going to buy up more Bitcoin, MicroStrategy, for those of you who don't know their goal or didn't get it by the numbers, their goal is to own over 1 million Bitcoin. This goes against the principles of the idea of decentralization and who Bitcoin is for. But I think that this company is on a path to not only trying to live out that dream of theirs, but I need people to be on board and understand that there's not a lot left. There was another article, I don't have it here. It was talking about the dwindling, continuous dwindlization, not a word, but it sounds correct, of the amount of Bitcoin on exchanges. It keeps dropping more and more, not to mention all the ETF news that we keep getting as far as accumulation and buying. Yeah, we already live on a fascinating planet. And the next couple of years, my guesstimate is still between 5 to 10 years, is going to be really intense for wealth creation, wealth distribution, and basically those who actually have assets. I know I said it before, but I got to bring the point home because I've had discussions with friends in person about these things. And I've noticed that a month later, it's kind of disappeared into the ether, if you will. So here's to hoping that all of you are paying attention and are investing at all, and also investing correctly, if you get my drift. Because if Bitcoin does indeed go into a multi-million dollar per Bitcoin in the future, I would love if all of you could benefit as well, because these rich people already own everything, and I want you to own the everything as well. MicroStrategy is going to be buying $42 billion more worth of Bitcoin in the next couple of years. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever the heck you might be. I do hope it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.